Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Election Brief. My name is Kenneth Jesse. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media platforms and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging the gap for positive youth development. Please stay for details. Let's begin from the camp of the NPP, because the popularity of that party's flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has seen a decline in the Ashanti region following the announcement of Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh as his running mate. According to the latest opinion poll conducted by Global Info Analytics, while Bawumia remains in the lead, his winning percentage has dropped from 73 to 65% compared to earlier polls conducted before the running mate announcement. Meanwhile, John Mahama has surged from 15 to 24%, marking a dramatic shift in voter sentiment. So, data analyst Isaac Ufieje joins me in the studio with a breakdown of the findings. First of all, what did these researchers find, Isaac?
About the NPP's winning percentage in the Ashanti region.
Yeah.
Why is this important? Because we know the Ashanti region is the vote bank of the party. And over the years, anytime they get less than 75, between 73 and 75%, less than that, they tend to lose the election, the presidential election. This is the reason why for them it was important picking the right person from that region to be the running mate of their current flag bearer, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. But the recent poll by the Global Info Analytics paints a certain picture, a different one, after the announcement of Napo as the running mate of Bawumia. Now, this according to the poll. Before Napo's announcement, Bawumia's popularity in the Ashanti region per the previous poll they did was 73%, which was within a reasonable bound in terms of the number of votes they get in the region. But some months or days or weeks after, we've seen this number declining from the 73%. Now we're talking about 65.4% after the announcement. I mean, there's no regression analysis to see or to actually determine whether it was due to Napo's, announcement or not. But what we say is that per this current poll, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's popularity in the Ashanti region has declined by more than 7 percentage points. Now, let's go to the NDC, who are, according to the poll, gaining momentum in the Ashanti region. Yeah. Why is this important? For the NDC, they always need to maintain a certain vote margin or winning percentage of 23 to 25%. There are some election years that they even had 30 or more than 30%. Yeah. This is important. Although it may be somewhat impossible to win the Ashanti region currently, they still need to get majority of votes in terms of what the total vote cast. And according to the Global Info Analytics, they have moved from 15% in the previous poll now to 23.7%. So huge and so significant.
Yes, quite interesting and fascinating as well.
Now, let's look at the next slide that talks about, gives more breakdown in terms of this poll. Now, what is the sample size, the methodology used in this polling? Yeah. Now, according to Global Info Analytics, they sampled 14 out of the over 40 constituencies in the Ashanti region. Okay. Ashanti region is popular in terms of number of voters, registered voters. It's huge. Yeah. But they were able to, pick the views of 1,392 voters, which, I mean, if you compare to the total number of registered voters in the region, some may say this is small, but it's a survey. It's a polling.
This is how surveys are done.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is a bit scientific, I should say. So, I mean, that is a sample size that was used to determine the numbers or the vote share that we saw. It could be, I mean, depending on the real outcome of the election, this poll can be beneath or above expectation. Now, I want us to go from the smart wall, let's go to the touch screen to look at some other details that we found in the survey. Now we are looking at specific questions that voters were asked. This very one. Which of the following running mates do you believe can do a better job as Vice President of the Republic of Ghana? And as you can see, the NPP is leading in the Ashanti region as expected. Napo is around 63%,
yes,
about 63% of that vote. In terms of Professor Jenan Opoku-Agyeman, it's still around 20.7%. So if you compare this to the total outcome that we saw, the overall outcome, where Bawumia got about 65, and then Mahama also getting more than 20%. This is actually tangential to that vote share that we saw.
I want to come in here. So does that seem to suggest that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is quite popular within the NPP in the Ashanti region than Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, who comes from that region?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
If you look at the numbers we saw on the Smart Wall versus what we are seeing here, Napo versus, Bawumia. I mean, it's early days yet. He's just been introduced. So maybe if you give ourselves more time, his popularity can even go higher. But currently, this is what the polls are saying. If you look at neither of them is around 10.52%, and no opinion is around 6.37%.
Right.
Now,
Isaac, kindly hold on. I'll come back to you, but let's talk to the party in question, the New Patriotic Party, and I've been joined by Evans Nimakun, who is the Director of Research and Elections for the NPP. Evans, welcome to the show. Now, the latest poll shows Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's support in the Ashanti region dropped from 73 to 65%. Should we believe it?
Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon to your viewers and listeners. I think for us as New Patriotic Party, our position has been very clear. We are going into this election reaching out to eligible voters, people who have registered and their names are on the ballot, and we are reaching out from polling station to polling station with the message for them to vote for His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Yes.
Polls will be done, but we've seen polls from Mr. Musa Dangwa. He is entitled to his polls and his opinion. Majority of the people will vote in December 7, 2024. And where I sit, I can assure you, with all the confidence in me, that His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will cross the threshold as required by the Constitution to constitute government.
Okay.
We wouldn't change the narrative. We will not be swayed by the indicators that will be put forward by Mr. Musa Dangwa. What we are saying now is that if Mr. Mahama, the former president, wishes, he should bring himself up for a debate with Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia.
Right.
For Ghanaians to see the right person to lead Ghana after Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I mean, I've always said that I will not be surprised if Mr. Musa Dankwa conducts a poll in my household and tells me that Mr. Mahama is leading. I will not be surprised.
Are you questioning the integrity of the pollster?
I'm saying that I will not be surprised that Mr. Musa Dankwa will conduct a poll in my household and will tell me that Mr. John Mahama is leading. I will not be surprised.
What's that supposed to mean, though?
What I'm saying is that, and I've been very clear about this position, that look at Mr. Musa Dankwa conducting polls in NPP strongholds, and you will see the figures will turn out.
Okay.
And you see his polls. So for us, yes, you conduct a poll in a constituency that has 47, in a region that has 47 constituencies. 14 of them are selected randomly.
Okay.
And you are dealing with a figure less than 1,400. No problem about it. It's polling.
Okay.
But for us, majority of the people will be voting in December 7th. In the last elections of 2020, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo garnered a certain 6,700,000 and over to continue as the president. So when people are dealing with such figures, yes, you look at them and you move on.
Okay.
And my brother,
Evans, let me come in here.
In other jurisdictions.
Let me come in here. You are the director of research for the NPP. Do research and such polls influence votes, you think? Because polling is done all over the world, and most of the times they are accurate.
I'm happy to say most of the time. But let me also let you know that we observe elections in Kenya, and all the polls that were taken out indicated that Mr. Raila Odinga was going to win. At the end of the day, when the people of Kenya voted, President Ruto won.
Okay.
In Nigeria, where all the polls were saying that it was Peter Obi, at the end of the polls, Bola Tinubu won. So I'm saying that, yes, we take polls and we assess them. And it's like when you are being advised, you take and then you move on.
Okay.
So where you are looking at over 18.7 million people, about 50 million of them going to turn out to vote, and you are dealing with a figure, 1,400, and you think that will be the decider.
Okay.
And so
you are targeting 85% of the votes in the Ashanti region. Is it still on course?
if you check the registered voters across the country, almost 18.6 million, and you look at the quantum from Ashanti region, and you are working from polling station by polling station.
Yes.
And you are a serious party, and you have your strategies in place. You'll be working towards figures that will enable you win an election. And so what the running mate said, Honorable Matthew Poku-Prempeh mentioned, the New Patriotic Party is working exactly towards that.
Okay.
And no amount of sway will keep the New Patriotic Party's eyes off the prize.
Okay.
We are so committed, and we are working day in and out, reaching out, and our polling station people are working for us to get to that prize.
Right.
And it is not only in Ashanti region, across the regions, across the polling stations.
Okay. Evans Nimako, I want to thank you very much for your time this afternoon. He's with the New Patriotic Party. Let's cross carpet and speak to the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NDC, Mustapha Gbande. Mustafa, welcome to the program. John Dramani Mahama's support, as indicated by the poll, has increased from 15 to 24%, with significant gains among voters aged 64 and older. Obviously, you are pleased with this, right?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to our cherished listeners. Indeed, I am persuaded by the outcome of every intellectual research, including that which was done by Dr. Smart Sapo of the NPP. Our political party will always be guided by research, including overriding issues. It is true. The Ashanti region is the NPP's stronghold. That you will recall that during the selection of Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, we have told Ghanaians that the man, having got any gravitas on the Ashanti region, his track record was nothing to write home about, and his own personality was a disadvantage to his ambition.
Yes.
clearly on the day of his outdooring, he disappointed himself and the people that nominated him. He disappointed the whole Ghanaians, insulted the founder of this country, and all of that.
Yes.
Post that, the NDC have been engaging the grassroots of Ashanti region and also exposing the ills in this government, the heightened level of corruption, the level of thievery. In fact, we are yet to even start door to door, community to community, to tell the people how the Achim Mafia intends to shortchange the people of Ashanti region by using same for political expedience and dumping them. We are yet to start. So, Musa Dankwa's research, we believe in it. It will reduce further. By the next 2 months, NPP's hold on Ashanti region will reduce.
Right.
Because we believe Ashanti region will not be used as a conduit by fraudsters to continue to disadvantage this country. Ashanti region will not be used by a group of people who we all know are not working. We all know the crime and the offenses they have committed against this country to continue to use and exploit Ashanti region for votes to stay in power.
Right.
The people are enlightened. Look,
Mustafa, let me come in here. The Ashanti region might be the World Bank of the NPP, as we always say, but it is also a very important region for you because even in the last elections, you had more votes in the Ashanti region than you did in the Volta region. You are, however, not making gains with young voters in the region. Are the youth of the Ashanti region more attracted to the NDC? And if they are not, how do you intend to make them attracted to your party?
The youth wing of the NDC is going to launch a youth manifesto next week. And that campaign will also start. But in the meantime, Ashanti region vote is Ashanti region vote.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we don't need the whole of Ashanti region to say that we have become NDC. We only need Ashanti region to know that the current crop of people holding onto NPP are leeches. They are destroying the brand of the party, and that a new face must come. Look, at the end of the day, the people of Ashanti region own a lot of businesses in this country. So they are feeling the impact of the mismanagement of this economy by the government more than any other region. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Yes. And number two, by the time we finish explaining word to word, page to page, the evil, demonic, treasonable document of Ajapadia to all the youth in Ashanti region, they will understand that it is no longer about party, it's about Ghana.
The NPP is targeting 85% in the Ashanti region. How many percentage points are you targeting in that region?
I am not good in mathematics, but I do know that the people of Ashanti region are going to make a remarkable statement on December 7th to say, look, we cannot be taken advantage of anymore.
Okay.
2, that you can't use us for evil reasons. 3, that you cannot use our votes to be in power and then begin to fight for yourselves.
Okay.
That is what people of Ashanti are going to do. And so we believe that the research is good, it guides us, but all of us also know that Ghanaians are physically crying every day and out. But it is only MPP and the Jubilee House that believe that Ghanaians should not cry and that we are living comfortable. That is also going to manifest in December 7th.
Mustapha Gbande is the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NDC. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. I still have with me Isaac Ofie of our research desk. Isaac, let's wrap up with the polls that we were analyzing.
Well, first, I think that we must be clear that it is only the close to 19 million registered voters who decide the outcome of the 2024 general election.
Eligible voters.
Exactly. But when they are polls, we need to analyze and discuss them. So I was talking about Matthew Opoku-Prempeh's impact in the Ashanti region.
Yes.
So according to this Global Info Analytics survey, they asked the respondents a very simple question. Do they think that Matthew Opoku-Prempeh has any form of impact? If you see green, we are talking about the poll that was done in July, and blue is a poll that was done in August 1st, 2024. So you can see that those who believe he is likely to have an impact on the 2024 general election see a decline from 62 to 58% between the polls. Now, those who say it's unlikely that he will have any impact has actually increased from 21% to 29%. percent. Then we see those who are neutral declining from 17% to 13%. We also have other interesting, we've spoken about this already,
yeah.
But there's also another important question because you made mention, Mustafa mentioned that, he feels that NAPO discredited the founder of this country. So, Global Info Analytics also asks that question. And we know that during his outdooring, that statement became a national conversation. Yeah. Everybody was talking about it. So it was important that they ask voters who they feel has been. So let me read a question. It says, in your opinion, who is the best ever and second best head of state of Ghana who were democratically elected? And as you can see, Kwame Nkrumah is here. 42.63%, but he was not the one leading the Ashanti region. Guess who? John Agyekum Kufuor is leading with 52.07%.
And that's his home region as well.
That's his home region. And Akufo-Addo, that Napo was saying that he's been the best, according to him, had 28.4%. So if you compare what the current president, Nana Akufo-Addo, got from this poll to what John Agyekum Kufuor and Kwame Nkrumah got, you can see a stark difference in there. Last one, then we end this analysis. This is important. Now, there are third forces in the Ashanti region.
Yes.
This man is important because that is his home region. Yeah. He was more or less like expected to be taken over from Nana Akufo-Addo, but the reverse happened. So they asked the voters about their intention. If you look at all of these people, Mahama is having 23.7%. Baumia is leading with 65.4%. And Alan Tremantin, 9.2%. This is why it's important. In the Ashanti region, for somebody else, a third force to get 9% of the vote is very detrimental, either to the NPP or the NDC. There's also another third force with 0.7%.
That is also his home region as well.
Exactly, that's home region. Other people also getting 1%. So it's interesting. We are not there yet, but this is an interesting poll that we need to discuss.
Isaac Ofieje, thank you very much for your expert analysis as always. Now, let's talk about other stories this afternoon because the running mate of former President John Dramani Mahama, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has reiterated the NDC's commitment to creating a special purpose bank dubbed Women's Development Bank to cater the needs of small-scale business women such as hawkers or anyone who does not depend on huge capital to run their business. At a rally to round up a door-to-door campaign in parts of the central region, Nana Opoku-Agyeman said once established, the bank will be a game-changer for women entrepreneurs. Take a listen.
There's a saying that support is given to persons who pursue progressive ventures. That is why NDC government will support women entrepreneurs. If you're a woman and you are running a business in a sustainable manner, be rest assured that if you get the nod and take office in 2025, the Women's Development Bank will come upstream to help you expand and grow your business.
Women's Development Bank, Women's Development Bank,
Well, some 120 fishermen in Ekumfi Nakwa in the Central Region have defected from the New Patriotic Party to the National Democratic Congress, citing worsening conditions in their fishing communities. The announcement was made at a community derby on Thursday, where the NDC's running mate, Nana Opoku-Agyeman, addressed the concerns of the fishermen. The fisherfolk denounced the NPP government for its failure to address its soaring cost of premixed fuel and outboard motors, which he said have crippled their livelihoods. We'll listen to them shortly, but first, here's a statement they released to this effect. Right, and this is the statement that says about 120 fishermen at Kumfi Nakwa in the Central Region who are known members of the New Patriotic Party have defected to the NDC, and they announced their defection at a community derby organized on Thursday to interact with Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman, the running mate of the flag bearer John Dramani Mahama. And the fishermen said they took their decision based on their need for improved livelihood. According to them, their fishing businesses are on the verge of collapse due to the high cost of premix fuel and outboard motors, among other fishing items. Right, so these are excerpts of the statement that they released. Now, we can now hear from the fisher folk who spoke through their leader, Openyi Owubonsu. Well, that's all for Election Brief this afternoon. My name is Kenneth Jesse. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Bye for now.